Hey everyone, Andrew here with ACR Protect. Thanks for stopping by. Well, I told you the other night I was going to do a special video. We got that coming. I have a guest today. This is my friend Jason. Jason, welcome to the channel.
How you doing?
Good, good. So Jason, little history about Jason. I'm going to try not to put out too much of his business. Jason's with local law enforcement here. We've known each other at least 10 years.
Thereabouts, yeah.
About 10 years. So both gun enthusiasts, both utilize those for our profession. So I figured this would be a good candidate to have on the channel to kind of talk through some stuff. So like I said, I mentioned the other night, had kind of a fun video today. We're going to talk firearms. You know a lot about firearms.
A little bit.
I know quite a bit about firearms, and so we're gonna have a little friendly banter about some stuff. We both have our preference, right? And I think that's a big thing. But kind of right out the gate, and I was debating this when I was thinking about the video. Jason here is a big Smith & Wesson M&P fan.
I'm firmly Team Smith & Wesson.
Team Smith & Wesson. Great gun. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Smith & Wesson. However, I am definitely Team Glock. And I have been for a long time. Welcome to the airport here, the landing, the flight path for IAH over here. We literally probably sat here for 20 minutes before we started thinking, hey, maybe I'll slow down. No, this is
not at all.
Not at all. And so also, if one of us just falls down during the video, it's because both Hound 1 and Hound 2 are out here doing their best to try to trip us up. Stell has already put her paws on the table and kind of gotten into things a little bit. But we're talking Glocks and Smith & Wessons, but we're also talking a lot of different guns. And I think the big takeaway for both of us is that there's a lot of good stuff out there.
There really is, and there is a lot of defensive and duty type weapons out there that are high quality, of decent capacity, and relatively affordable.
Everything on the table today is less than $1,000, and I know it's like, Jesus Christ, like $1,000. Most of them are probably 600 and below.
I think the most expensive one I have on the table was right at 700.
Okay. And I've got two on here that are pushing $1,000, but you'll see them. You've probably seen them before. But a lot of the stuff is kind of middle of the pack. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say between 4 and 6.
That sounds about right.
Is about where we're standing here. What do you know? Another plane.
And we've got a couple duty guns. We've got a couple concealed carry guns.
Yeah. And you know, the nice thing about this day and age with handguns, I think if you want to be a one gun household, like, you know, maybe you're not a gun guy, you don't want to have all the guns, but you say, hey, you know what, I think I want to have some personal protection for myself, my family. You know, maybe I'm going to start getting my license to carry. I'm going to do that. We're in a day and age where you can find one gun.
Yes.
To do all those, and it'll be comfortable to shoot. I think that's a good thing.
When a lot of times when people are talking about that one gun that flexes into multi-roles, they kind of go towards guns that are that Glock 19 size.
Yep, I agree. I think that's they're calling that kind of the quote unquote compact. However, I know plenty of people that carry a Glock 19 or the 40 caliber version, the 23, as a duty weapon.
There are many with my department that do so.
Yeah, it's a good gun. Sorry, there's sirens there.
And in fact, I know a couple that carry the Glock 19, but their spare magazines are Glock 17 magazines.
Right, which he's kind of hitting on my side of the fence here.
Yeah.
On why we do that. But we were kind of joking around, and again, I've always said personally, if Glock didn't exist, the Smith & Wesson M&P would be my gun. I really like it. I really like it. And there are a ton of jokes out there. You know, like you see some of these YouTubers will go out and say, you know, if you carry this gun, it means this and this about you. Like for example, the fact that I carry a Glock means that I'm pretty much just like missionary position when it comes to sex. Whereas if you carry an M&P, you just wish you had a girlfriend. But no, that was a low blow.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Glock owners invented sex, but Smith & Wesson owners are the first ones to do it with people outside their family.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. I will take that hit. So, so you're my guest, and so what I'm going to let you do, I'm going to let you start kind of talking about Smith & Wesson, specifically the M&P series, and which when Smith & Wesson came up with that, they
knocked it out of the
man. They went full speed. Like they said, hey, we're gonna get all the different sizes, including revolvers, and we're gonna step up our game, and they really did. And I think even since then they've made better stuff. But I'm gonna let you touch on that because you're kind of the expert. So if you want to just talk a little bit about, feel free to bring some of the stuff into camera here, and just why you are a big fan of M&P and Smith & Wesson.
I've heard it said that Glock is the Honda Civic of handguns.
Okay.
It's not special, it's not flashy, but it works, and it works every time. The same, if Glock is the Honda Civic, then Smith & Wesson is the Toyota Corolla. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Anything I say about Smith & Wesson, I'm firmly Team Smith & Wesson, but that is not to say anything derogatory about Glock or SIG or Canic or Beretta or CZ or any of the other high quality duty and concealed carry handguns out there. It's just I've heard it said before, we're living in the golden age of handguns. There are so many high quality, decent capacity, reliable, well-made handguns on the market. It's really hard to go wrong. So when you have that much choice, the little things matter.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with that statement. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Now, so many times a new shooter will ask someone who's experienced, hey, what should I get? And I'd say, 8 times out of 10, you hear, go buy a Glock.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. No, but no.
Which is not bad advice, because you can't go wrong with a Glock.
Good gun.
But there's a lot more out there on the market, and my advice is, instead of just go buy a Glock, go find a range in your area that has a large rental fleet, and try a couple things before you spend the money.
Yeah.
Because Glocks are wonderful, but you might like a SIG better. You might like a Smith better.
Yeah.
It just might feel better in your hand. And if the gun feels better to you and you're more comfortable with it, then you're going to be more confident with it. You're going to want to train with it more, and you're going to be more accurate with it. It's just, yeah, okay, it's corporate speak, but it's the man-machine interface.
Yeah. Yeah. No, as big of a Glock fan as I am, and one of the reasons I like them is because they are proven and they're reliable. Not that anything else isn't, but I've never had any problems with mine, and I don't know a whole lot of people that have. But I'm with you. I'm going to tell you the same thing, because you got a lot of folks that'll say that, like, oh, you got to buy 45. That's what you got to buy. That's the only that. No, like if you're gonna get something, you need to be comfortable with it. And there's a lot of factors, and I had another video a while back that I think kind of touched on this. It was some considerations when buying your first handgun, and some of the costs associated with it, because the handgun's a big cost, and budget, I do think, is a factor. She's crazy, just so you know. That dog is fucking crazy. Budget is a factor. I think if you're trying to get into preparedness or personal protection and stuff like that.
But buying a handgun, budget doesn't just mean the handgun.
Oh, right. There's so many other factors.
A decent holster.
Yep.
You don't have to spend a lot of money on a good holster.
But you need it.
But you need a decent holster that has good retention and covers the trigger. you need spare magazines, you need ammunition. So that's all to be considered in the budget.
Yeah, yeah. The gun is just one factor, but I will agree with you on the fact that I think you need to go and put hands on. Like, you know, you can watch 100 videos and everyone in a different video is going to say this is what you need to go with.
And you can get a lot of good information from watching videos.
You can.
Absolutely. But a video can't substitute for hands on the gun.
Hands on. Picking it up, kind of getting an idea.
Just buy me dinner first.
Yeah, yeah. Stella's sexually assaulting my guest here. Down. So that's one thing I completely agree. Go out and try, pick some things up, get comfortable with it. These people at these ranges, like they want to help you. They want you to be comfortable with it. When I used to work at a range, I don't know if you knew that. I used to work at a gun range, and that was one of my things. Like when you came in, like if you wanted to buy, I wanted to make sure that you were comfortable with it. Like I will take time out of my day to help you on the range, be comfortable with it, safe, effective, and whatever it is.
And you know what? It's not just your range personnel. That's just about everybody in the 2A community.
Right.
We firmly believe that the Second Amendment and that self-defense is for everybody.
Yep. And that's one thing I want. That's like a big takeaway for this channel. I'm kind of glad you touched on that, because like I don't care. I don't care if you're male. I don't care if you're female. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're white. I don't care. I don't care if you're gay or if you're straight. I think if you want to protect yourself, you should. And I also think you need to have the proper training to do that, and you need to get a good firearm. And I think most of the community is like that. I really do. I think most people are like, if you want to learn, you can find somebody that'll teach you.
Any range you go to, they'll be happy to show you how to operate the gun and how to handle it safely. Any gun store you go to, they're going to want to talk to you. They're not going to want to just go in and say, hey, I want that, swipe your card and go. They're going to want to talk to you. They're going to want to make sure you're getting the right gun for your application. They're going to want to make sure that you're comfortable with it. And most of them are going to tell you where you can go to get further training.
Yeah, because it all comes back to that, the training. Like even here in Texas, and this is a topic for another subject. Fuck these cicadas, by the way. They, oh my God, they're like right here, like right there. Just getting your LTC, which I think is a good thing. That's what we have here in Texas. They also have constitutional carry, which is a whole nother subject. I really don't want to dive into those two things, but the training that you have for your LTC is basic.
And for those that don't know, just to clarify, if you're outside of Texas, LTC is licensed to carry.
Right.
It used to be called a concealed handgun permit, but when Texas allowed open carry, they changed the name of it to LTC, but it's still the same license.
Same license, whether you choose to open carry or concealed carry. Again, a topic for another day. I don't want to, we'll stray off
right.
to everything. So let's get back to M&P specifically, and like some of the things that you dig about M&P and why.
The main reason I like the Smith & Wesson M&P is because when I shoot Glocks, I tend to shoot a little bit high, and that has to do with the grip angle. I'm not disparaging Glocks. It's a difference in design. The manual of arms for the Glocks and the M&Ps and the SIG 320s, the CZP 10s, it's all going to be the exact same. They're all double stacked striker fired pistols. If you can shoot one, you can shoot all of them. But because there's so many quality ones on the market, it comes back to the details matter.
Yeah. The details specifically towards you.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm a left-handed shooter.
See, he just complicated everything right there.
Yeah. So if I understand correctly, Glocks were not ambidextrous until Gen 4.
Yeah.
So that's from the mid-'80s until whenever the 4th generation was introduced. They were just for right-handed shooters, and us left-handed guys, they're like, figure it out.
Yeah. Which a lot of people did.
Now I have.
Yeah.
I've learned how to shoot a right-handed gun left-handed.
Yeah.
But when the Smith & Wesson M&P came out, and I'm not going to get into the full history of the M&P. I'm not Ian McCullum. I don't have the hair for that.
Yeah.
But when the M&Ps first came out, I believe in the mid 2000s, they were ambidextrous ready from day one. First time they came out, I've got a first generation M&P 9 here. This was my original duty weapon. I've had this one for several years. I've probably got close to 7,000 to 8,000 rounds through it. But if you notice, it's got slide release, or slide stop slide release on both sides. It's ambidextrous. The magazine catch is reversible, and it's very easy to reverse it. It takes about 20 seconds to do so. I chose not to because I taught myself how to drop the magazine with my trigger finger. And reversing the magazine catch at this point would be retraining, and I just don't want to go through that.
Fair enough.
The big thing I like about the M&P series, and this carries over from the first generation to the newest M&P 2.0 metal series. This is my current duty weapon. The grip angle and profile is the same, and it's more of a I want to say 18 degree 1911 style grip angle. So when I shoot Glocks, and I'm going to grab
Yeah, absolutely.
one of yours here. When I shoot Glocks, the grip profile is a little bit more pronounced, and I tend to hold it a little bit high. So I have to remember to break my wrist over. Now, is that something I can train around? Absolutely. You know,
But if you don't have to.
right, any decent marksman should be able to pick up any pistol and at least make combat effective hits. I'm not talking bullseyes, but combat effective hits at reasonable distance. But if I have one that fits me a little bit better, and all of these weapons have been safety checked, if I have one that fits me a little bit better and points a little bit more naturally, why wouldn't I go with that? And the price difference is comparable. I want to say they're within $100 of each other.
Yeah, I mean, depending on upgrades, you can soup up an M&P to be more expensive than a stock Glock.
Right.
Or vice versa.
I've even gone with the M&P series in my off-duty gun. I carry a Shield Plus. And I did that for a couple of reasons. One, the grip angle is the same as my duty gun, it's just smaller. And second, carrying this off-duty, it's a smaller version of my duty gun, so there's less crossover training I needed to do.
And what's the capacity of that one right now?
This one is 13 plus 1.
All right, now you buy it like that, or is that when you buy it, does it have?
No, when you buy it, it comes with a 13 round and a 10 round magazine.
Okay.
I purchased 2 more 13 round magazines.
Okay.
So I carry 3 13 rounders.
Right.
But it comes out of the box, 13 plus 1. Comes, where did I put it? Comes with the 13 round magazine, which has the small pinky extension.
That makes a huge difference too on these. I'm going to call them micro handguns.
What that means is with that pinky extension, I can get a full 3-finger grip.
Yeah. Good stuff. All valid points. Again, like I said, I'm sorry, I had to wait for Stella to move so I could step up here a little bit. I like the M&P. It is a very, very comfortable gun. They've come a long way. I don't know if you remember the Sigma.
Yes.
Which
I had one.
Yeah,
I had one. I got rid of it fairly quickly.
They tried to come into a market because before the Sigma, they had that the all steel series, and I'm blanking on
the 9mm were the 59 series.
Yep.
They were also available in 40 as the 40 series, and these were the third generation. They were 4-digit model numbers. So
Yep.
5906, 5903, 4006, 4003. They had a 1006, which I would love to get my hands on, but they are unobtainium.
Yeah, yeah. And it was a good gun. I think when they came in with that series, Beretta was really popular, and I think they were trying to bridge the gap there because all steel, the all steel frame guns was a big thing.
The third gen Smith & Wessons, they actually started, I want to say in the late 50s with a 2-digit model number. So you had the model 39 and then the model 59.
Right.
And then the second gen had 3-digit model numbers, and then the third gen had 4-digit model
Yeah.
numbers. But they were all essentially an outgrowth of the original Model 39, which was, for all intents and purposes, the first reliable 9mm semi-auto. And I'm going to preface that by saying American-made,
Yeah.
domestically made. Because you're going to have people that say, well, what about the CZ75 and what about
Yeah.
the Browning High Power? Fabulous guns, not American-made.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at that time, they weren't as available.
Yeah. No, that's, yeah, absolutely. So the Sigma came on, and they tried to kind of, I think that was their trying to compete with Glock.
Well, if I remember correctly, Glock, they got sued by Glock.
They
over
did.
the Sigma.
They did. And they still make the Sigma, and I will say that the newer Sigmas are okay. I think it is a very much, it's an entry level gun.
They're reliable.
They are.
They're reasonably accurate. They're capable of accuracy far greater than my capability.
Most guns are,
But in my opinion, the triggers on them
are horrible.
I was going to say hot garbage.
That's yeah.
But the new Sigmas, they're marketed as the SD series, so self-defense series.
Yeah.
So they are designed self-defense. So what they're trying to replicate is that double action revolver trigger
Yeah.
pull. I get it.
Which isn't a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing.
It's not a great thing. It's not a bad thing.
That circles back around to the conversation about preference, though.
Yeah, it does.
I prefer not to have the overly heavy trigger.
Yeah, yeah. So my first, when I was a kid, shot some handguns. Not as much. Growing up in Iowa, did a lot of long gun hunting, mostly shotgun. Had 22, but because the way the state is designed with square miles, you couldn't do it. You could own rifles, you could shoot rifles, but it wasn't necessarily a safe thing because,
right.
Southern Iowa kind of changed things up a little bit, but I didn't have as much exposure. And then I'm one of those guys that I joined the service when I was 18, and went in, and of course you start shooting handguns, and we had the Bred at the time. And Bred is a great gun. In fact, we have one here on the table. Thank you so much. The Bred of 92, basically exactly what I had, what I carried. And this is a fantastic gun in a lot of ways. I would say this is a very safe gun. A lot of features, and that's a topic for another day. But being that it was, thank you so much, being that it was a military thing, everyone has the same stuff, right? Everyone has the same gear, and that's part of the concept of the military. But when you're trying to learn to shoot, and this, like, we're kind of Tarantinoing it here, going back and talking about what we said when going to buy a handgun. Stella's saying hi again. Down, baby. It's not the best way to learn. Like, it's a way to learn, and I did learn, and you adapt and overcome, and you shoot and you get used to it. But it's a very bulky gun. It's very thick in the handle.
It's a very large gun for its capacity.
It is. And I will personally say, having been in a seagoing service, all steel guns out on saltwater don't mesh. But that's kind of what I was used to. And then as I got into more shooting handguns, I tried different things. I really like Glock. In fact, the first gun I purchased when I turned 21 years old on my birthday was a Glock Model 32. Do you know the caliber? Pop quiz, man. It's an oddball one.
It is an oddball. I'm drawing a blank. I want to say 45, but I don't think that's right.
No, it's actually 357 SIG.
Okay.
357 SIG, and at that time was still expensive, but it was affordable at the time. And I did a lot of research, and I liked the ballistics of the round. And it was my first gun. I kind of wanted to get something kind of different. I wanted to be that guy, and I shot it a lot. I loved it. I no longer have it. I sold it because I was tired of paying $40 a box of ammunition.
Well, I also have a not here on the table, but I have a M&P 40.
Uh-huh.
And I'm still looking for a 357 SIG drop-in barrel for it.
Yeah.
They're unobtainium right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as soon as I can find one, I'm gonna grab it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a badass round. It really is. But again, calibers and everything else, topic for another day. So my thing with Glock, I brought out almost all the different sizes. Sort of. I don't have the 26 size. I don't own one. Not that I don't want to. It just hasn't been picked up yet.
It's a little bit lower on your
It
to-buy list.
is. Now, as everyone knows, my go-to gun is the Glock 19. We talked about that before. Very popular.
And Smith & Wesson makes a comparable size.
They do?
The M&P 9C.
Yep.
I don't own one, but I want to say that the 9C is within dimensionally a 1/4 inch of the Glock 19.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's similar. Again, the differences, the differences make a difference in what you're getting. But this is my primary carry every single day. I'm always carrying this. That's why you see some dust on there from lint and whatnot. But
a carry gun should be a little bit dusty.
Should be a little dusty, a little bit dirty, but I like the simplicity. It feels good in my hand. It's comfortable. One of my biggest things about Glocks that I like is the ability to find things for it. So when you have Magpul, you've heard of Magpul, I'm sure. Everyone's heard of Magpul. Magpul makes.
I'm going to throw a little shade here.
Okay.
Glock perfection. If
Okay.
it's so perfect, why is there such a big aftermarket?
True. Well, you know why? because we're all so cheap.
Yeah.
And I can get, so let's see, I've got Glock mag here, factory Glock 19 mag, and then a P mag, 17 round mag. They run the exact same. I've had zero issues with any of them in any of my guns that are
Glock
Glock-esque.
has similar compatibility. The M&P 9C will run the full size 9 mags.
Okay, I actually didn't know that. That's good to know. I wasn't sure. Do they make like a collar or anything for it? So when it, how it sticks out?
I believe they do. A lot of people don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't like the collars because they tend to flop around a little bit.
They do. They'll pinch you if you're not careful.
The only ones that don't cross over are my shield mags.
Right. Which kind of comes to the next thing. He has the shield. I have, thanks to a very, very generous neighbor, I was able to borrow a 43X. Now, this is not the straight out of the box 43X. This has a lot of upgrades. This is probably one of the...
Would you say that that's a Gucci Glock?
I would. I would say that. But that's kind of his MO. Like he likes to do that. He knows who I'm talking about.
And you know what? More power to you.
Right.
So if that's the route you want to go, and that's what makes you happy, go for it.
Right. I will tell you right now, for this 43X, the only thing that is still 43X is the frame, the frame and the barrel. The barrel's still the same, but slide's different. You can see the mag wells on there, the attachment for the rail, the night sights, the trigger, everything's different. Again, another nice thing about Glock, you can change them out. Now, talking about mags, I'm gonna kind of go back and forth here and act like a spaz. One of the things I like about I'm a 9mm guy.
As am I.
All right, the 26, the 19, and the 17. I can use all the mags, right? With the exception, I can't put a 10-round 26 mag into a 17.
Well, we call it one-way compatible.
One-way compatible. There we go. But I do the same thing when I carry my primary 19. All my backup mags are at least a 17 round or bigger, and that's nice. When you start talking about the 43, new mag, just kind of like the shield. But that's the price you pay. So you're getting new mags. Now, one thing that you can do with this, you can change out the mag release, and then you can get these aftermarket steel mags that hold 15 rounds.
I believe they're from Shield Arms.
Shield Arms.
Not associated with Smith & Wesson Shield. They're
Right.
a separate entity.
Yeah. Palmetto State Armory also starts making them. But now that she's just a wild one. Now that we're starting to talk 15 rounds, that makes a difference, because your standard 43 is...
Well, you're 43 there with 15 rounds. And what I was saying earlier about being large for the capacity, back to the Beretta 92 M9 is also 15 rounds.
15 rounds. Look at the size difference on these two guns. Like, I can...
Which one is going to be more comfortable for you to carry?
Yeah.
And I mean carry concealed, because the Beretta is actually still a really decent duty weapon.
It is. It is. I still know some officers that carry that.
And there are 17 and 18 round magazines now available for the Beretta that are backwards compatible to earlier models.
Yeah. So, again, kind of going back, there's a lot of stuff for Glock. It's easier to find. I'm sorry, she is. We need to get her some treats or something. It's easier to find. I wouldn't say easier. There's more of a market for holsters, accessories, the builds, and I'm gonna pull another one out here, and y'all have seen this before. This is my Poly 80 to 17. It's a Glock clone, is what it is. Now, this one, it is a bitch to find a holster for this one. But as far as all the parts and the internals, you can go buy a P80, or there's a multitude of other lowers that you can get, and you can go buy Glock parts if you have them laying around. You can build a whole nother gun, and relatively affordable,
Right.
which is nice.
Which also segues into the other one I have on the table. So you have your big three, your Glock, Smith & Wesson, and SIG. So the other one that's I also prefer, because of the grip angle, is the SIG P320, and this is an early full-size version. This one is borrowed. What's nice about the SIG is they have the chassis system, so you can basically buy just the chassis system, and then there are so many different frame modules, slides, and barrel links. You can design your own gun to fit you specifically. You can basically make your own one of one.
Yeah, which is cool. And SIG is a great gun. I like SIGs. I've owned them in the past. I don't have any right now. But she is just being extra needy right now. We got a guest over here, and she's get down. God damn, man, down. So a lot of good things about both guns, and quite frankly, I enjoy shooting SIGs, and I enjoy shooting M&Ps and Berettas.
I'll go so far as to say that until the second generation M&P, or the M&P 2.0, came on the market, the SIG 320 had, in my opinion, the best trigger on a striker-fired pistol.
Stock, yeah. Because I will say that Glock stock triggers are not great. They're okay.
I'm not sure that the M&P 2.0 trigger is better, but I would definitely put it on par.
Yeah, and it's all what you get used to. I mean, the standard, my duty gun, my carry gun, it is like it's pretty much stock. I leave it alone. I don't play around with it. I just, because it works, I don't want to have any problems. It's
right.
just not that these builds I've had any problems with them, but I just know, and that's me. I did a video not too long ago about standard sights over the red dots, and I know those are really popular. Like, they're popular on your concealed carry gun, or if you're into the the Minuteman stuff, they're putting those on that and everything else. And even after that video, when I spent a lot of time with what I'm calling my race gun, it was fun. Like, it is a blast to shoot, and the more I got used to it, the better I was getting.
I'm still struggling with learning red dot. I have one on a pistol that is not a carry pistol for me, because I'm still struggling with it.
Yeah.
So it is set aside, and it's used more as a learning tool right now.
Yeah. But who knows? You may end up upgrading and putting one on your duty pistol if your agency allows it.
They do.
They do.
My agency allows it. You have to qualify with it. There's I think an 8-hour course, 8 or a 10-hour course that you go through.
Yeah.
And then you qualify with it, and then you can carry it on duty. Yeah. And my duty gun is optics ready, but I've chosen not to do that.
Yeah. No, and which is, again, my duty gun is straight, iron sights. They're night sights. That'll be another add-on that I will say. I think both of us agree. If you're gonna get a gun and it's gonna be a duty gun, a carry gun, night sights, I think you have to have it. That's just me. I think if you're gonna spend the money and the time, they're not that much more of an upgrade. Like, they range from $50 to $180 is kind of the price range.
The one that I've got, and I have it mounted on a CZ-P10C, is from Primary Arms, and this is their basic budget red dot, and I think it ran me just a tick over $100.
Okay. Well, I think I don't want to confuse anyone. I was talking about night sights a second ago.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So night sights can range between $50 and $200. The red dot optics, in fact, and Primary Arms is awesome. It's a Houston-based company. Yes. Too. I have some of their stuff as well. But Palmetto State Armory, which again I'm a fan of, that they really can help you get in the door with a rifle and a handgun for a good price. And of course they have the Dagger, which is another Glock clone. But they were just advertising a True Glow pistol or rifle red dot for about $70.
Nice.
True Glow is pretty good. I've used some of their night sights before. It's good stuff. But you can spend $100. You can spend $500 on a red dot. It's really up to you. The Hollow Suns are nice. I like those. I have a Vortex Viper, but it's all in kind of what you get used to. But I'm still carrying iron sights. I think that's fine. And I think if you're getting into firearms, you need to start with iron sights. Whether you're shooting handguns, rifles, shotguns, I don't care. You need to start with iron sights because optics can fail.
Optics can fail. Current optics are really reliable and really rugged. So
they are.
They can fail, but it's rare. What's more prevalent would be my stupid ass forgetting to change the battery.
Right. Well, and I think the building block skills that you get from shooting with iron sights make you a better shooter. If you're really good with iron sights, you can get really good with an optic. So we're coming up on 37 minutes. I think this has been a good video. I think we've gotten some good talking points on both. I think we'll both agree that we'll circle back again to one of the things we said in the beginning. That right now is prime time for finding a firearm that is of quality for a reasonable price.
Absolutely.
I think you can find that, but I think it all goes back to some training and some hands-on stuff and finding what works for you. And then, again, this is a Pro 2A channel, and it's about protection. It's in the name, ACR Protect. Protecting yourself, protecting your family, protecting your stuff. You have the right to do that. But I also think if you're going to get into the firearms game, you need to be responsible. Don't be a jackass.
Well, it's just like,
don't be a jackass. Get some training.
It's just like anything. Like when you're learning to drive a car.
Yeah.
You get the training. You go to driver's school. You learn how to drive. You get your driver's license. You get your insurance, and you don't drive like a jackass.
Right.
It's the same principles.
Yeah. Well, and kind of with that training, like you at 14, you can get your learner's permit where you can drive with a licensed adult. And again, where you get to have someone saying, "Hey, don't be a jackass." Like,
exactly.
but it's important. I think if you're going to carry, like, you get these people, and I'm not gonna dog any particular agency, but a lot of times you get some people that have been in a role for a while, and this is a tool, right? It's a tool if you're law enforcement or whatever, if you're civilian carrying, but if you're not practicing, and like, so I know with certain agencies around here, they're required to train once a year. Now, some are more. I've known some private security agencies that make you train quarterly. As a group doing some good stuff. As an individual, really the only budget is your only hiccup,
Right.
and time. But you don't get lackadaisical. You gotta practice.
I'm required to take a refresher and requalify once a year.
Okay.
However, any classes that are offered, I'm authorized to go take on my own time at no expense.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
awesome. That would, and a lot of agencies have that. Like that fucking plane is pissing me off.
Is that the same one?
Right. There's one that went by. I was like, it's kind of quiet. And then like it got right overhead. There a lot of Houston has a lot of different law enforcement municipalities. Texas is kind of a weird state because you got constables and you got sheriffs and you've got local law enforcement. You also have state police, and then you have rangers. You got all these others.
We actually have a section in the Code of Criminal Procedures titled "Who are Peace Officers?"
Right. So, and what's nice is a lot of those you can go into the different agencies and take different courses with them, and I think that's great.
Well, for example, just in the drive over here, I think I crossed through 12 different jurisdictions.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing. There's a lot of law enforcement around here, but I just want to say again, we are hitting 41 minutes. It is hot out here. I'm surprised my phone hasn't melted. I am melting I'm melting. But I just want to thank you for coming on the channel and talking.
I appreciate you having me out.
I'd like to have you come out and talk about some more stuff. I think this was fun. We'll see how you, the viewers, enjoy this stuff. I think this is kind of cool. We're actually gonna roll out from here. We're gonna shoot some guns. That's always a good day. A bad day at the range is always better than a good day at the office.
Agreed.
That is a good catchphrase there. But folks,
and I don't know if I'm going to be able to convert them to Smith & Wesson, but I'm going to try.
I might pick one up. Like I said, so you can pick up either slightly used, well, I won't say slightly used or unissued M&Ps if you go to a variety of different websites. For I've seen them as low as $300. At one point in time, I saw them for $250.
Yeah,
I haven't seen those days in a while.
I saw recently ones, and I'm mad that I missed the deal, but they were M&P 40s with Denver police markings.
Yeah.
And they were like $450, and by the time my paycheck rolled in, they were sold out.
They're gone. And those are coming with 3 mags, with night sights. Like it's a good deal.
What you have to understand, and this will be the last thing I put in there. When you're buying an LE trade-in pistol, they're probably going to look a little beat up, but these holster wear. But these guns were designed to be carried a lot and shot very little.
Yeah.
So functionally, they're going to be close to new.
Yeah, they are. So find those deals. Again, when you're looking to buy a firearm, get your hands on some, look for the deals, look to talk to the folks that can help you out in making these purchases, so you get some more information. Knowledge is power, folks. That's all I got. Again, Jason, thank you for coming out on the channel.
Thanks
I appreciate it. Y'all take care. Until next time, we'll see ya.